What's going on, guys? Economic Prepper here. Just got a good question from my son, actually, and I don't have the answer to it, so I'm going to lean on my community on this one. We're seeing the economy change right before our very eyes. Inflation, recession, rising gas prices, layoffs at a rate of thousands of layoffs per week now. And one of the things that we've observed is that the prices of everything is changing, including menu items. You're getting less product or service for the same amount of money. Things are changing. However, a question came up and I don't have the answer, and I wonder if you guys do. So the question was this: when you go to a restaurant, you have different people who work in the restaurant, but everyone but the waiter gets a minimum wage at least. So the question is, waiters and waitresses, number one, this is my question: why are waiters and waitresses legally able to be paid less than the minimum wage? I'm not sure what it is across the country, but in Georgia it's like $2.13 last I checked. Might have changed, but somewhere in that ballpark. So the question is, how are they able to get away with this legally? Why are they, why does that happen? But the other question is why do we have to tip? And I'm not saying like you have to tip, because no one's gonna like force you to tip, right? But it is customary to tip, and I tip very well. Generally speaking, unless the waiter completely sucks, you're gonna get at least 20% from me. It's mainly because I'm lazy and don't want to do the math to figure out exactly what 18% is, but 20% is just really easy numbers. But the question is, why do we tip? And I'm not saying like that I have a problem with it, because I've always done it and never really thought about it. But it wasn't until this guy asked me the question of why do we have to or why do waiters receive tips? And so it got me thinking, okay, do you tip the waiter or the waitress because you know that they're only making a fraction of what minimum wage is? The other thing is like, you don't tip the cook. The cook probably did more work than the waiter, technically. But the cook will not be paid $2.13. So, is it like, all right, well, the cook is good. He's getting the full hourly rate or a full hourly wage. So we don't tip the waiter, or excuse me, so we don't tip the cook. Is that how that works? Now, the other question I have is, because this question kind of came up in conversation, is we were observing different changes in our economy, and we will continue to see more changes coming, believe that for sure. It used to be, you'd have a busboy, and you may still find busboys in some restaurants, but that is another position that is being eliminated. And it's businesses are finding more ways to offset inflation, to increase their profit margins, to expand their revenues, and to decrease or at least attempt to contain their expenses for their businesses to maximize their balance sheets. And it used to be that you'd have a busboy that would come and clean off the tables. Now the busboy, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I've actually done busboys. I've actually been a busboy in 20 years ago or whatever. But busboys don't get tips unless, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong or if you've experienced differently, busboys generally do not get tips, but they don't make $2.13 an hour, which is well below the minimum wage. They don't make that. They at least make minimum wage. But what I've experienced in the past is that the busboys, if they're, really hustling and keeping the tables cleared, the waiter or the waitress, if they're kind enough, smart enough, savvy enough, however you want to look at it, they may take some of their tips and tip the busboy at the end of the night, because if it weren't for the busboy, it would delay the waiter or waitress ability to get new butts in the chairs, which inevitably will reduce how much revenue and profit the waiter and waitress can earn. Because if a table stays dirty, you can't sit a new family down to eat. And if that family doesn't sit down and eat, you're not earning a tip as a waiter or a waitress. So, you know, like a business smart waitress will say, I know if I tip this busboy, he'll prioritize my tables and keep them clean. The sooner I can get this table clean, the sooner I can put new people in this chair, the sooner I can make my next tip. So, you know, but again, today, you go to a restaurant, I don't remember the last time I saw a busboy. Do you guys remember the last time you saw a busboy?
No, that's why we were just talking about it.
Yeah, but I mean, but do you remember the last time, like, not even anywhere?
No.
So yeah, it's a position being eliminated, or perhaps it's already eliminated, and we're just now noticing that it was missing.
Yeah.
So now it's the waiter or waitress delivering food, and I've noticed this in many other restaurants where the waiter or waitress may take the order, but then someone else brings the food. I think they call them runners.
Oh yeah.
So I'm wondering, and I don't know if a runner is a dedicated position, or is it like, hey, you're a runner just because you're running food out, but you really do something else in the restaurant. You're not like a dedicated runner. You're not just sitting in a chair waiting for food to be done being cooked and then you run it out.
And another question.
Yeah.
On receipts, when
Yes.
they do put the tips, have you seen it like 15, 18, and 20, right? So I just noticed on our receipts, it is actually 20%, 25, and 28.
Whoa!
So they have increased the tip. And
wow.
they actually break it down for you, so you can actually, you know, you don't have to break your head like doing the calculation.
Dude, I didn't even know that until now.
So, yeah.
Let me see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't stare at it, but wow. Dude, that's...
So that has increased.
Okay, so not only have the menu items gone up,
yeah,
they have also increased the suggested gratuity.
Yeah.
And you know, and it's a delicate dance. It's a delicate dance because the restaurants don't want to pay. The restaurants are just trying to survive. I don't think that these companies are trying to kill it. Like, you know, these mom and pop restaurants, I don't think they're trying to kill it. I think obviously they want to do well. You didn't start a business to not be profitable. But I don't think they're trying to bang the customer in the head, you know, from a financial standpoint. But at the same time, you know, so with that being said, they're more than likely just not going to, you know, unless they had to, they're probably not going to just give all the waiters and waitresses raises, but they can certainly suggest to the customers that, hey, maybe 20% is the minimum now. What was the smallest number on there?
No, yeah, 20.
20% was smaller.
Yeah, 28 is the highest.
That's a tremendous increase, especially if it used to be like 15, 18, 20. So now it's 20, 25, and 28. So that's another 15, roughly, without doing the math as I'm driving, that's about another 15% increase, potentially, on top of, if you saw my previous video, on top of the 15% increase on the menu items. So when you go to a restaurant, and this is why I've always packed my lunch historically, you know, and I don't go out to eat that often just because it's so expensive. It's not only is it expensive for the menu item, you're gonna pay for your menu item, then you're gonna pay tax. Your tax rate, I don't know, where we live is about 7%. So you're gonna pay 7% sales tax, then you're gonna pay 15% increase on your menu item. Where are we at? 22%. So now you're at 22%. Now you're gonna leave a tip at a minimum. You're gonna be at 20%. So now you're paying, what was that, 42%? And if you happen to leave 28% as suggested, you're at 50%. So no matter what you're buying, when you go to a restaurant now, you may spend upwards of 150% more than what you've used to spend.
Yeah.
Or you may spend upwards of 150% of what the menu item costs. That needs to be considered. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying how to spend your money. This is not financial advice, but you need to know what's happening around, guys. Anyway, if you made it this far in this video, drop a like for the video, consider subscribing to the channel, and I will see you guys on the next one.